Harambe YouTube, it's Charles here, and let's call this part 7.5 of my Jennifer Bloodlines Retrospective Review Series. In this edition, we're going to take a little sidetrack to a spin-off comic that takes place directly after the events of Jennifer Bloodlines number 5. And it follows Giulieta Romeo, a famed Italian assassin sent to the town of Bountiful, Utah to be the quote-unquote sheriff of said town, but really to hunt down and kill the new Jennifer Blood. If you've been following along with this series, Bountiful, Utah was a city set up as kind of an open-air prison for the worst of the worst criminals. It was kind of disguised as a regular town, but everybody in there was either a witness protection or they couldn't deal with the government. And while they were quote-unquote reformed criminals, really there was a deal between them and the government where you guys stay off the radar, keep your crimes discreet, and you can pretty much have the run of this town. Well, Jennifer Blood was avenging the death of her family at the hands of some of the people that were there. And so she infiltrated the town and started doing what Jennifer Blood does. That is, dispensing revenge. I won't say justice because Jennifer Blood is a vigilante and not a good guy by any means. And, not a very, very interesting character. She's not your typical anti-hero. She is very much a bad guy taking out other bad guys. And this takes place, like I said, right at the end of number 5 of that series, where she left Julia Romero seemingly to perish in this sewer and escaped Bountiful, Utah. But we found out that after the sewer explosion, she was injured, but clearly not deceased. And we catch up with her on an extradition flight to Italy to face the Italian justice system, along with a mob boss who is having a rather heated discussion with his son/lawyer, and the plane ends up being shot down. And she escapes in a very, very exciting panel here. Take a look at, where is it at here? So yeah, the plane gets shot down. The mob boss attacks her. He's, pops on a parachute, jumps out of the plane, and then you see her in this brilliant, almost full-page panel, chasing them down, surfing the airplane door as if it were some kind of surfboard or snowboard, catching up to the mob boss and taking his parachute mid-fall. Very, very fun, exciting stuff. And they end up marooned on this island with this deformed character wearing what appears to be a fascist uniform, ill-fitting at that, and this character is very much indeed deformed. And we find out that he is descendant from Nazis that were placed in this island that was off of the grid as kind of a hidden secret U-boat depot where they could refuel and stock up and catch a break off the grid. And this island, the descendants, they, were pretty much trapped in time at the time where, World War II was going on, and they were still expecting, U-boats to return. And they have, spent all of this time inbreeding and, surviving, hoping for the return of, as he puts it, the master race, not knowing that World War II ended and the Allies won and everything else. So that's very interesting dichotomy, and you find out that this guy was actually pushed out of the main stronghold of this island by a mysterious usurper, he calls him, who was a mob boss we found out became frustrated with his place in the Italian mob and had heard about this, off the grid island with treasures and so on and so forth. That was a project between Mussolini and Hitler, and he made it his goal to take over that island and to get said treasures on the island. I'm not going to give too many more details because, like I said with these reviews, I want you to be able to hopefully find these books, discover them for yourself, and enjoy the story. But I like the fact that Dynamite Comics, especially with the Jennifer Blood series, is they really don't waste the character. You will see spin-offs that tie directly into the story. For instance, with the Ninjettes. They were characters that were a one-off early in the Jennifer Blood series. And I believe there was a one-shot prequel that they did around the time of their introduction into lore. And then years after the fact, a couple of years ago as a matter of fact, they put out a Ninjettes series. I think it was like 5 or 6 books. And we find out that we get a different history of the Ninjettes. In the original iteration of the Ninjettes, they were spoiled kids who wanted to become assassins and stumbled into the life of an assassin. And in the new iteration of the Ninjettes, they were kids with sociopathic tendencies taken by the government and trained to become assassins. And this is another spin-off that they've done here, giving Giulieta Romeo her own backstory, her own mission. But we do find out that the plane being shot down, at first they thought it looked like a thunderstrike, but it was shot down over that island intentionally. And that the Italian mobster on that island had bribed officials to get the plane to fly over the island. And in another twist, Giulieta was not simply on the flight as part of a regular extradition, but she was working in league with the U.S. government in some kind of backdoor deal to find out where this island was. And so, a very fun book. Slightly longer than your average book, but it's beginning to end a whole story in one issue, which I love because here lately with comic books it seems like every book is just a small part of a wider story that you're not going to get any conclusion to without spending a lot of money or waiting for the trade paperback. But in this, you don't have to know this character or her history to enjoy this book. So check it out, Giulieta, Romeo Hitwoman, spin-off of the Jennifer Bloodlines series. And stay tuned because we still have issues 7, 8, no actually issues 8, 9, and 10 to review from that series from 2022, Dynamite Comics. So I'll see you guys next time. Until then, keep reading them books. I'm out.